Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're tackling something I think literally all of us need right now. We are going on a mission to escape the absolute chaos of our modern minds. We live in this world where content overload is just the default. Being able to actually focus, it kind of feels like a superpower these days. But today we're going to learn how to break out of that cycle. We're exploring a deeply personal, totally actionable framework for achieving what we call radical presence. I want you to pause for a second. Have you ever just struggled to recognize your own reflection? It's a jarring question, right? It really catches you off guard. Well, this exact question was asked by executive coach and two-time cancer survivor Savio Clemente in his TED Talk. It completely shatters the fourth wall. It demands that you look up, tune in, and actually be here, right now, in this exact moment.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, the cognitive overload crisis. Then, a sudden wake-up call. Third, defining radical presence. Fourth, the Aloha reboot framework. And finally, seeking clarity over peace.
First up, the cognitive overload crisis, the modern problem. Before we can really talk about presence, we kind of have to address the hilarious, but honestly pretty painful reality of our everyday mental overload. Think about your web browser right now. Seriously, be honest with yourself. Do you have like 100 tabs open across 3 different windows? Communication experts call this cognitive overload. When we do this in our minds, holding on so rigidly to our expertise or constantly jumping between a dozen mental tasks, our internal systems literally start to crash. We can't actually experience the moment. Contrast that with what Savio calls the state of the empty pot. It's all about letting go of that rigidity, closing those mental tabs, and creating a state of readiness where fresh information can actually just flow right into you. Let's move to section 2 and see how this builds. A sudden wake-up call, disruption. Because, theory is great and all, but life has a funny way of forcing us to learn these lessons through massive disruption.
For Savio, that disruption was unimaginably intense. Back in 2014, he was diagnosed with cancer. He went through high-dose chemo and thankfully hit remission. For 10 whole years, he was safe. Experts even told him it was super rare for this lymphoma to come back after 5 years. But then, in June of 2024, it did. He suffered this unexpected relapse in a totally different area, his nasal pharynx. This shattering reality check literally put his entire life on hold. It led to 14 months of intense treatment, stem cell transplants, weeks stuck in the hospital. It was the ultimate, absolutely unignorable wake-up call that demanded his complete attention. Now, what's really interesting here is the distinction we need to make about surviving a crisis. We hear the word resilience all the time, right? The idea of just bouncing back. But when you face a massive disruption like that, your old operating system simply doesn't work anymore. You can't just bounce back to who you were. You need what's called adaptive resilience. It's the ability to have flexibility and to completely rework your approach in the present moment, instead of just relying on a broken, outdated system. Which brings us to section 3, defining radical presence, the antidote. So what exactly is the cure for all this chaos and overload? It's time to ditch the floaty buzzwords and look at what this actually means in real, everyday practice. Savio shares this brilliant anecdote about covering the Oscars red carpet. He was standing right there, next to these major entertainment magazines watching A-list actors walk the line. And he realized something profound. Even off the movie set, they were still acting. They were performing, slick, armored, making sure every single angle was perfect for the cameras. Well, radical presence is the exact opposite of that. It's not about being on or throwing up your armor. It is this raw, totally unpolished state of just being curious, being fully awake and observing reality without filtering it through a lens of how you want people to perceive you. I want to just slow down for a second because this is absolutely crucial. Savio defines true presence as sinking into where you are at right now, not where you want to be. So often we think mindfulness is just, chilling out or escaping to some happy place, but no. Radical presence is an active, incredibly awake state of confronting your current reality, even when that reality is a hospital bed or just a crazy, overwhelming work week. Okay, section 4, the Aloha reboot framework, reconnecting with self. Let's get into the highly actionable part of our explainer. This is a super simple Hawaiian-inspired method to basically just say hello to your inner self. And you know what the best part is? You literally only need 7 minutes to do this. Seriously. When you're feeling disconnected, struggling to recognize that reflection in the mirror, you don't need to book a month-long silent retreat.
Savio designed this specifically as a 7-minute exercise because, honestly, no matter how packed your schedule is, we all have at least 7 minutes to spare. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how we do it using the acronym ALOHA. A. Acknowledge where you are. Don't pretend things are fine if they aren't. L. Listen to your inner voice. Actually use your body and voice to figure out what's going on inside. O. Open yourself up without fear or shyness. H. Harness that raw wisdom and intelligence that you get from just being still. And finally, A. Act on it. It's such a sticky, easy-to-remember framework. You can literally deploy this the very next time your mental tabs start crashing. Finally, Section 5, Seeking Clarity over Peace, the Ultimate Goal. For this last part, we're going to fundamentally shift the goalpost when it comes to mental well-being and mindfulness. So the crucial point is this. When faced with chaos, most of us just say, I just want some peace. But peace is usually treated as this passive, almost mythical end state, right? It's like an escape from the storm. Savio argues that what we should actually be chasing is clarity. Clarity is active. It is grassroots reality. It's doing the hard work to figure out exactly why you feel so overwhelmed in the first place, rather than just trying to quickly grit your teeth and get through it. When you are radically present, you gain clarity. And it's that clarity that ultimately informs your next moves, which allows true peace to finally follow. Which brings us to our final thought. Take a really hard look at your own mental operating system right now. When the chaos hits and your life feels totally disrupted, ask yourself, are you just searching for a temporary, mythical peace to escape the moment? Or are you willing to be radically present, sink into exactly where you are, and search for the clarity you need to actually move forward? Something to think about. Thanks for joining the Explainer today, and I really hope you take those 7 minutes to say hello to yourself.